माझं काय तर त्यांना पाठीमागे इनव्हिजिबल झालं का? Okay, should we start now? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now in this life processes in living organisms part 2, basically we are going to study reproduction, that is asexual and sexual reproduction, two types, reproduction and modern technology, reproductive health and population explosion. These are the four topics mainly we are going to study. Now, firstly, the type of reproduction is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means the organism, while reproducing, will involve only one parent. Now, in sexual reproduction, there is, can you tell me what happens in sexual reproduction?
Two parents are involved.
Parents are involved. That this is the
Gamete
first
formation
difference.
takes place.
Correct. Now, there is no union of two different gametes. This is uniparental reproduction. I am also referring to the book. You should also refer to the book in between. Uniparental, you should underline that word. If you already underlined, that is okay. And it occurs by mitotic cell division. So this asexual reproduction, during asexual reproduction, there is mitotic division. Now, again, in asexual reproduction, we are going to see asexual reproduction in unicellular organisms. First is binary fission. Can you see this parent amoeba? Can you see this parent amoeba? Can you see the screen? Parent amoeba. Yes. Now this is divided into two amoebae. How is the division? Is it transverse? Is it longitudinal? Or can it be in any plane? In amoeba. Can you tell me? In amoeba, how is the division? In amoeba, the fission can take place in any plane. Have you understood it? Now, you can see this euglena. Can you see this euglena? Can you see this euglena? This is the flagella of the euglena. So, now here, this fission is in the longitudinal way. Can you see these two parts? So, this is referred to as longitudinal binary fission. Now, in case of paramecium, it is transverse. Fission is transverse. Can you see this? So have you understood the fission types? In case of amoeba, it can be in any plane. In paramecium, it is transverse. And in case of euglena, it is longitudinal. Now, multiple fission. Multiple fission is performed in amoeba as well as in plasmodium. Now, here what happens when there is unfavorable condition, no rains, no water, still the amoeba has to save its species. What does it do? It becomes rounded and forms a protecting covering around plasma membrane. This is called as cyst. So now this amoeba gets encysted and many nuclei are formed. There is only one nuclei in the beginning. There are afterwards many nuclei formed, and then they will give rise to many daughter cells of amoebae. So from one nuclei, there is multiple division and many nuclei are formed, and each individual nuclei will go outside. The cytoplasm also gets divided and many such amoebae are formed. That is called as multiple fission. Have you understood this concept? Now this cyst opens up only under favorable conditions, and under non-favorable condition it is enclosed in the cyst. Now the third is budding. Budding takes place in yeast. Do you know where do we use yeast?
Bread.
Correct. Yeast we use it in the formation of bread. Now this parent yeast cell. Now what happens is there is formation of bulge. Now this bulb, now nuclei divides and now one of the nuclei will enter into new bud. And this new bud, we call it as daughter yeast. Now after some time, once it gets mature, it detaches from parent cell. This is daughter yeast. So this is the way the yeast cell get divided by budding. Now this happens in, now this budding is in unicellular organisms. Now there is budding in case of multicellular organisms also. Can you tell me in which species does this budding occurs in multicellular organisms?
Hydra.
Hydra. So what is the difference over there?
Small bird appears.
Correct. Small bud appears and then that progressively grows up and forms a small hydra. Now dermal layer. Dermal means the outer skin layer. Dermal means the outer skin layers and the digestive cavity of the budding hydra are in continuity with those of the parent hydra. So if this is the parent hydra, so this dermal layer outside and this digestive cavity, this is the digestive cavity. And these outside dermal layers, they are dermal layers. Now they are in continuity with parent. This is the parent hydra. And this is the daughter hydra. Have you understood? Now here, do we say that the nucleus goes over here or the one of the nucleus divides and the one of the nucleus is transferred over here? Do we say so? Can you tell me? When do we say so? In unicellular organisms, that is in yeast, we say so that nucleus divides by mitosis and one of the nucleus gets transferred to daughter cell. Have you understood the difference between budding in unicellular and multicellular? Have you understood, yes or no, or should I repeat it? I'm not hearing anything from you. Hello?
Understood.
Understood? Okay. Now, asexual reproduction in multicellular organisms. One point we have already seen, that is budding. The next is fragmentation. Next is fragmentation. Fragmentation broadly means breaking into fragments. That is seen in all aquatic algae. Example is Pyrogyra. Now here body of parent organisms break up into many fragments and each fragment starts to live as an independent new organism. Now, this breakage is due to generally water currents or some if the fish eats a part of Spirogyra and part of it remains, or if some other prey eats the algae, then the remaining part will develop into the new organism. This type of this type of reproduction occurs in algae and sponges. So you should always remember fragmentation is related to aquatic life. Example is, one more time I'm repeating, example is sponges and Spirogyra. In biology, you have to give lot of examples and you have to also draw small schematic diagrams. That is expected from you along with the short note. Now, if the body of cycon is again a type of sponge, breaks up accidentally into many fragments, each fragment develops into new cycon. Regeneration. The next topic is, first one was budding, then the second is fragmentation, third is regeneration. Do you have book with you?
Yes.
You tell me the example of regeneration.
Wall lizard.
You're correct. Wall lizard
Planet.
breaks up and generally the tail gets broken. Head, etc. is not broken. Head or the body, just the body part. Have you ever seen a lizard only with the head?
No.
No. It generally discards its tail. Now, in case of planaria, the body can be broken up into 3, 4, 5 also. Here in your book, they have shown only 3 parts to understand it better, but it can be broken up into multiple parts. Now, planaria, you have seen. Now, this is the head region, the main body, and the tail. If this is broken, only if this is broken. If we have only this, the planaria will develop these new parts. If only this is broken, the body and the head will grow. Similarly for this head also. This is example of limited regeneration. The lizard is the example of limited regeneration, whereas planaria is the example of, is it limited? It is unlimited regeneration. Have you understood the difference?
Yes.
Now, under certain situations, an animal planaria breaks up its body into 2 parts and thereafter each part regenerates. Remaining part of the body, thus 2 new planaria are formed. This is called as regeneration. Now, you must have seen lizard. When do you observe that lizard's tail is missing? What must have happened? What must have happened and the lizard's tail is missing? Can you guess?
Maybe due to some threat.
Due to some threat, or sometimes what? If, if the prey has already caught her, what she will do is, she will lose her tail and she will elope with head and the abdominal part. Or some other guess? Others, please speak up. You have finished this lesson in your school. Any other guess? Or if she gets, if her body gets stuck in some wood, etc., also, she might lose her tail. Hmm? Now, the next part is we have seen sexual reproduction. Now, under asexual reproduction, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, and the fourth is vegetative reproduction. Can any one of you define what is vegetative reproduction? We have been studying right from our 5th, 6th standard. Girls, nobody is talking. Please speak up.
Reproduction occur in plants.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
reproduction occurs in the part plants like
Root, stem, leaf, and bud. Correct. Hmm? So now, what we see potato. We see the birds. We see the birds on that potato. Now this rainy season, we have seen so many birds have appeared. They are called as eyes. They are called as eyes of the potato. So do you think potato is a root? Is potato a root? Is potato a root?
No, it's a stem.
It is a
It's a
stem.
stem. If you closely look at it, now I will give you interval after some time. That time you can go enter your kitchen and see. See the potato, you will see small nodes. Like sugar cane, you will see these small nodes. So potato is a stem. So this is reproduction by stem. The example will be potato. Now you must have seen bryophyllum leaf. पानफुटीचं पाहिलंय का कोणी? पानफुटीचं झाड
Yes,
बघितलंय
yes,
का कोणी?
yes. So
So all of you have seen it in your school garden or sometimes in your house also. You must have planted this plant. Now this new plant takes rooting from the margin of the leaf. From the margin of the leaf. So this is the propagation by leaves. Now the remaining, now this is stem, leaf, now roots. So now example for roots will be sweet potato. रताळं माहितीये ना सगळ्यांना? Carrot.
yes,
So this is the carrot and the sweet potato is the propagation by root. Okay. Do you have any other example for root propagation by root?
onion. Onion would it be?
Onion, correct. Radish.
Garlic.
Radish, what can it be?
Radish is also a root.
Radish is also a root. आता तुम्हाला ब्रह्मकमळ नावाचं झाड माहितीये का?
Yes.
या दिवसातच येतात, त्याची पण व्हाईट फुलं असतात, खूप मोठी मोठी सुंदर दिसतात. 12 वाजता वगैरे उगवतं असं म्हणतात ते. So now that Brahmakarma is also an example of propagation by leaf. So those leaves are also similar to bryophyllum. पानफुटी सारखीच पानं आहेत त्याची, but they are little longer. How many of you have seen Brahmakamal? The plant at least.
I have in that.
Have you or you have not?
I have seen.
You have seen. So did you find that the leaves were similar to bryophyllum?
Yes, ma'am. They were growing from the leaf
Yes.
margin.
Only they are little longer. Bryophyllum are little smaller and thicker. Okay. Now the next is, fifth is spore formation. Okay. Where have you observed these spores? Where have you observed fungus? Now, this is rainy season. You must have seen fungus everywhere. कधी कधी तुम्ही बघितलाय फंगस ग्रोईंग.
Yes.
कधी कधी झालं असं की यू हॅव सीन फंगस ॲट युअर होम. सांगा.
Ma'am, cake or bread is kept for many times, but
Correct.
more.
Or if you forget the dabba also in your bag for 3-4 days, you forget
Yeah.
to give it to your mother to wash. What happens? Once you open it, you will see lot of fungus on the leftover food. Now, sometimes on the walls also, if the walls are moist. Now, in Pune, it doesn't rain so much, but in coastal areas, in Bombay, it rains a lot. So, if you have not used the house for a long time, if you happen to go out of station for some days, what you will see? Fungus on the walls, especially during monsoon period. Any other example? Have you heard the term fungal infection? Have you heard the word fungal infection?
Yes.
Yes. So now on your body also, the areas which are wet, the fungus tries to grow. So now here for fungus, I will simply draw a diagram. Now this is a capsule-like structure that is called as sporangium. This is called as sporangium. Now this sporangium, when it grows, it bursts open. It bursts opens and there are multiple spores. Now once this sporangium breaks open, the spores will come down. They will germinate on some substratum. Substratum is the place which is good for them to germinate. Can the spores grow on plastic?
No.
No. So they need a place which is organic. It can be wooden log or it is some food particle, it is some soil or some animal skin, etc. And the spores will germinate. They will give rise to new hypha. This is hypha new branch. Again, that hypha will grow up to grow up and give rise to new sporangium. So this is how the whole family grows. This sporangium bursts open, the spores come outside, they germinate and give rise to new hypha. Have you understood this? Now these spores germinate in moist and warm place and a new fungal colony is grown. Have you understood up to here? Any doubt? So if there is a question, asexual reproduction in multicellular organisms, can you tell me which points you will include? One by one.
We'll
Can
write
you
down
repeat?
all types, all modes of asexual reproduction.
So
How do they occur?
can you list them out? All, I don't want this word all. I want the list.
Binary fission, multiple fission.
No. Asexual reproduction in multiple. Multiple will not
Sorry.
occur
I am
in.
sorry.
Hmm.
Fragmentation and fragmentation like budding in
Regeneration,
case
budding, and vegetative reproduction and
Yes,
spore
vegetative
formation, there
reproduction.
will be 5 points. Have you understood? And asexual reproduction in unicellular organisms, how many types? I want the answer from girls. How many types?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question, please?
Question is, how many types of asexual reproduction occurs in unicellular organisms? Can anyone answer?
3.
3. So list it down. I just don't want the answer number.
Binary fission, multiple fission, and budding.
After binary fission, there will be 3 things. Transverse in case of paramecium, longitudinal in case of Euglena, and anyhow in amoeba. Then the multiple fission. Multiple fission, which is the example? For multiple fission, which is the example? Can you open your book and see and tell me? Multiple fission occurs in amoeba, and one more example is plasmodium. Have you understood this multiple fission, or should I explain it to you again? Hello, why no answer from anybody? Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, means I did not get you. Should I repeat it or no?
No.
No, okay. So why are girls not answering? How many of them are present now? Hello?
Yes, teacher.
How many of you are present now? Okay, I will see it.
10.
10. So why are the girls not answering any question? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. So why are the girls not answering anything? Girls, tell me. काय होतंय, काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे, समजत नाहीये का काही? काय होतंय? Okay. So boys, you have understood, I guess, and then I will start with the new topic, that is sexual reproduction. So during sexual reproduction, first of all, there is gamete formation. There is gamete formation. Okay. All our body cells, that is somatic cells, are they haploid or diploid? They are diploid. All our body cells are diploid. What do you mean by diploid?
Chromosomes are end to end.
Yes, correct. Chromosomes are in pair. So now my head cells, my tail cells, whatever, if I'm for not for me, not for human, but for a monkey, the tail cells are diploid. Tail, head, whatever hands, all the body parts are diploid in nature. They are 2n. But sex cells, the male sex cells and the female sex cells are n. So from 2n to n, there is a reduction division by meiosis, by the process of meiosis, which we have seen it in last chapter. So from diploid to haploid, the meiosis occurs. So the first thing in sexual reproduction is gamete formation, and during gamete formation there is meiosis. And once the zygote is produced, then there is again mitotic division. Are you clear with this concept? Are you clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, gametes are formed by meiosis. In meiosis, chromosome number is reduced to half. How many pair of chromosomes do we have? Human being has how many pairs of chromosomes?
22.
20, 23. So out of that, 22 are autosomes and one is 6 chromosome. Now, what is fertilization? A diploid zygote is formed by the union of haploid male and female gamete. Can you tell me? Can you repeat it? What is fertilization? What is fertilization? Can you repeat? A diploid zygote is formed in the process by union of haploid male and female gamete. So whenever there is union of male and female gamete, it is called as fertilization. Now you have seen there are similarities between you and your parents. Can you tell me one similarity per person? Each
Hair color,
okay, so your hair, which color you said?
hair color.
Your hair color matches with your father or mother. You have to tell me individually your case.
In my case, my father.
Okay. So somebody else. I
Eye color.
please tell me.
Eye color.
Eye color. So it matches with whom? You should tell me. How will I know?
Father.
Your father. Anybody else wants to tell?
Nose shape.
No
Nose shape and
shape.
eyes.
Correct. Correct.
It matches with my father.
Correct. We can also recognize the family also if we see some family member. We generally relate, oh, he is Deshpande's or he is Kulkarni, whatever, he is Patil's. Why? Because that family also has a typical face structure, isn't it? So now here the new individual shows similarity with the parents for some character and has some character different than both the parents. That is also there. So from where those characters have come to you? Do you know the answer of it? Can you tell me? So some of the characters are from your parents, but some others you do not know from where they have come. Do you know the answer? Yes or no? So some of these characters which may not be directly from your parents, but they are there from your grandparents, great grandparents. Now, what happens? Why do you see so? Because there is always a union of X and Y. So now which character gets expressed? Again, there are two things, dominant and recessive genes. Do you know about this? Dominant and recessive genes?
Yes.
Yes. So every time you will have two genes for one character. Okay. Now, if we take the example of eye color. Eye color, Black is dominant over brown. Black is dominant over brown. So, if your father, mother, if your father has black color, so the gene could be B, B. Mother is also, this is dominant. Brown is recessive in case of eye color. Now mother is also black colored, but she has this gene of brown color. But phenotypically, that is expression wise, she will look black in color. Now what happens next? Now their progeny. Okay. This is their progeny. So can you tell me how will this person look? The color, eye color will be which color? Black color. This is also black. This is also black. This is also black. Now this daughter or son, whatever, he marries a person, again the eye color is black. He marries this and the combination will show BB. So one of the offsprings can be brown in color. Have you understood? So there is, so some of the characteristics are of your parents and some of them are from your grandparents, etc. Again, there is genotypic and phenotypic expressions. You are going to study them later. Now there is, due to sexual reproduction, there is variation of the species. So why is this variation important? Can you tell me? In vegetative reproduction, there is no variation, but in sexual reproduction, there is variation. Why is this variation very, very important? Can anybody tell me? So now can you tell me examples of varieties in Homo sapiens, that is in human being, which are the different races? Which are the varieties between the species of human being? Can you tell me the races? Can you tell me the races? Do you know the term race? European, Asian, African. These are the different races. Anything else? Any other race? Hello? 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 Why is no response from you, your side?
Yes.
Any other race? Any other race? So these are the different races. So now what is the difference between Africans and Asians? Can anybody tell me the difference between Africans and Asians? We all
Uh,
correct.
Hair color.
Color, skin color, the height, hair color, the color of the eyes. Now for European and Asian, can you tell me the difference again?
Skin color, hair
Correct.
color, eye
Correct.
color.
Correct. So, correct. So these are the different characteristics only now in one species. And there are again there is variation amongst Asian also. Now Asian, Indians are there, again Chinese is there. Now in European also, there is again bifurcation, but we are just seeing this broad variation in human beings. Now, because these variations are there, they can live in the particular climate very well. Now, just the one example. Now, we had seen in 2021, etc., we were all suffering from corona. If we all had the same genetic structure, what would have happened? सगळ्यांचं सेम असतं तर काय झालं असतं?
He would have same immune
सेम
what
इम्युनिटी.
is-
आणि समजा आपण सगळे त्या व्हायरसला लो असतो इम्युनिटीला, तर सगळी स्पीसीज मरून गेली असती. So does organism want that the species should get extinct? No. Organism wants that the species should get continued. For example, now bacteria are there in a temperate water. They are present in the seawater. If the water temperature, now if some bacteria are resistant to temperate water, the temperature is high and then they cannot survive. And if some climatic conditions occur and the temperature of the water increases, all the bacteria would have died. If bacteria would have died, can the ecosystem over there survive? No. So only some of them died and many of them remained and the species continued. So variation is an important aspect of sexual reproduction which is necessary for propagation of the species. The species should perpetuate. It should not get extinct. Okay. Now, should I take a break or I should continue with sexual reproduction in plants?
Continue.
Continue.
Take a break.
I will take a break for 5 minutes and then we will start with sexual reproduction in plants and then human being.
Okay.
Okay, just a break for 5 minutes.